Welcome to the Impromptu podcast. I'm your host, Bridget Hayes. As a digital literacy specialist at Sonoma County Library, I organize and operate the camera library, sound studios, our cable access channel, community room, audio and video equipment, and teach classes. I thought it would be fun to involve the community in a storytelling podcast that we'll share on our YouTube channel and Santa Rosa Cable Access channel. Here's how it goes. We give you a prompt. Examples include when I was 5, my dream vacation, my first job. You have 1 minute to think about the prompt. Then we start recording. Tell us your name if you'd like. Then you have 3 minutes to tell your story using the prompt somewhere in the story. Each episode will feature a new prompt. At the end of the 3 minutes, we'll ring a bell. If you haven't finished telling your story, you'll be allowed to finish your sentence, and then we stop recording. You can tell your story any way you want. It can be fiction, nonfiction, funny, sad, historical, futuristic, but your story must be family friendly. That means PG or friendlier. You must use the prompt somewhere in your story, and you only have 3 minutes to tell it. Let's start with our first storyteller.
Somebody who has influenced me in a major way would be my nephew's mom, Iris, my sister from another mister, and my friend. So Iris, I think she used to work, I know she used to work at a breakfast place. And while she was doing that, she was also, I think, going to school. She's just always been a go-getter. And when I was starting my business, she told me that she had like an online course on how to start a business. And I thought, no way. And if it wasn't for that online course, I would have struggled quite a bit. I think it was like $9.99, and I recommend it to everybody. It's so well done, so well written, and it's for her another means of income, which is brilliant. You know, for her family, my nephew, she does these things to kind of set him up in life, and he's very successful. And so I look up to her in parenting and finances, because she also started a business, Milani Nails, and I just thought, this is so cool. And when she set it up, that the purpose was for her son. So I like that aspect of doing that for your family, and I like how professional she is. She has a lot of positive energy that she puts out in the world. I think she's in tech. I don't know that much about her, like personally, like as far as what she actually does. I forget sometimes, but she's just really fun to be around, really knowledgeable, and it kind of always blows my mind the extent of her knowledge, the vast amount of knowledge, and the positivity. She's one of those people that you just always feel good after talking to. Her business, I feel like she has more than one. I think she did vending machines, or she has vending machines as well. So, I mean, she's got all this like entrepreneurship and all these different streams of income she's able to produce and, guide other people as well. So she does like exercise on TikTok, that every time I open my TikTok, she's on my For You page, and she's just killing it. So she's beautiful and smart and funny and just successful. And so I look up to her, and I have ever since I met her. So that's who I think about when I think about who an influence in my life was.
In case you just joined us, welcome to the Impromptu podcast, where we give you a prompt. You have 1 minute to think about the prompt, then we start recording. You have 3 minutes to tell your story using the prompt somewhere in the story. At the end of 3 minutes, we'll ring a bell. If you haven't finished telling the story, you'll be allowed to finish your sentence, and then we stop recording. Each episode will feature a new prompt.
Good morning, Sonoma County. My name is Victoria, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about a person that greatly inspired me when I was very young. My mentor's name is Diana, and she, throughout her life, has been an example of grace and humility and kindness to many people, myself included. And today she is actually undergoing some pretty major surgery after a terrible vehicle accident. So I'm dedicating today's podcast to her because she deserves recognition and the thoughts and good wishes of the community members around her. So Diana was the mother of my very first boyfriend back in high school. We were very cute. It was our freshman year, and we didn't even kiss. It was so adorable. But she really just helped me to have a place to go and to be a young person in her own home without judgment. A devout Christian for most of her life, and certainly, subject to, the rules and regulations that she put herself under through that program. She never put those same restrictions or requirements on anyone else. She always held them to herself. Truly an example, in my opinion, of somebody who holds to religious tenets of one sort or another. Ever kind, ever loving, and just accepting. She faced difficulties through much of her life, and in facing those difficulties provided that example that really helped set me up for life. Her family was splintered at a fairly young age, and as she developed her own family, she also had members of it split off, and it was tragic and difficult for her, but she stood up and was graceful and kind and never had a harsh word to say about anybody else. And she lays today under the knife, and we're all hoping that she gets better soon. But I guess today, for me, it's about remembering to honor that example and remember that no matter what people are facing, that everyone deserves kindness and compassion and understanding and grace. The examples that she led for certainly were important to her in her own faith. Not something that I necessarily adhere to as far as religious tenets, but certainly character tenets. Those things that really make us human beings and good members of our community: kindness, grace, compassion, understanding. And that's Diana.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I actually have recently been appreciating and remembering two people who had a wonderfully positive influence on me in my life. When I was in high school, like any high schooler, I felt really awkward. I was a goofy kid, and I was not as interested in dating or makeup or being a teenager. I just wanted to stay a kid, and it was a really hard time. And suddenly, these two people, Doug Nunn and Tracy Burns in Mendocino, started an after-school improv and sketch comedy program for goofy kids like me. And they got me through high school in such a fun, silly way with other goofy kids who could go after school and have a total release. I quit all of my other after-school programs and just stuck to comedy, stuck to improv, stuck to sketch, and would stay up writing all night. I would get inspired by the improv scenes and then write these amazing sketches. And then pretty soon they took me under their wing and had me become sort of the director and the sound designer. I would help with all of their plays and things. Anyway, after high school, moved to Santa Rosa, got caught up with all the cool kids here, and it was just all rock and roll and having drinks at the bars and partying and, still having fun, but kind of lost myself. I got married, had a great time, wonderful relationship for about 15 years, and suddenly, as I was going through divorce during the pandemic, booted out of an entire community of people that, for other reasons, I was having a hard time. I was going through sort of a depression and trying to remember the last time I truly felt alive without any extra stuff. No drinking, no, relying on other people to make me happy. And I remembered what Doug Nunn and Tracy Burns gave me in high school, and the compassion and the sweetness, and their checking in on me and just being actual adults who cared what happened to me. And I just remembered that high that I got from improv and from all the other goofballs in improv and sketch comedy. So I signed up for a class here at the age of 47, signed up for a class here in Santa Rosa through Zipline, and discovered improv again and started getting really high again just on improv comedy and the people that I was meeting and this entirely new group of silly heads, goofballs, other people who just were real and multidimensional. And I recently got back in touch with Tracy Burns, who moved from LA. She's turned into a massive improviser in LA, moved back up to San Rafael, got in touch with her, started taking classes with her again, still in touch with Doug Nunn. I love them to death, and I highly recommend trying improv if you feel lost.
Thanks for listening to the Impromptu podcast. We had some great storytellers on the show today. Isn't it incredible what amazing stories people can share in only 3 minutes? Join us next week for a new impromptu prompt and 10 new storytellers. If you want to tell your story, just email estreet@sonomalibrary.org. That's estreet@sonomalibrary.org, and we will let you know when and where we are recording next.